Aberrus this week. Huge nerfs to Mythic, Skarn, and Sarkareth, and the Hall of Fame is closed.
Yo.
Wow. Do we need to go into this or next topic?
I mean, just realistically, that's kind of it. There's a load of nerfs happening because the Hall of Fame's closed. I don't think this is... So much of it is Mythic only, or nerfs that are kind of... Well, I mean, basically it's free. It's more free than ever. Just go... If you go grab a Heroic Pug, you'll down this pretty easy.
Well, there is one thing I think we should bring up the very end here, because it's the interesting bit of data, and that is the Mythic Aberrus kill count.
It's very important.
So with Sarkareth, there are 271 guild kills and 203 guilds currently progressing. Since the Mythic changes have gone into effect, a ton more Khazra, Skarn, and Sarkareth kills have been recorded, in addition to the standard increase, of course, week to week from others. So we have... Wow! 237 Skarn kills after the nerf.
That's basically half the guilds, or almost half the guilds progging going, done.
Yeah.
But it is the thing where that was, like, especially before these nerfs, this was the hardest fight in the game. Like
one of
hardest
the
fight in the game,
fixes
you
that
know,
they'd done had introduced the RNG traps, and the RNG traps were not particularly fun RNG, I suppose.
Yeah, it was also just the whole fight was literally like, it was tighter tuned and harder to manage than the two fights after it. After the nerfs happened to the last two fights, but not Skarn. And it was like, again, a little bit of a mild, you haven't quite done your Mythic tuning properly. But I think outside of Heroic and Normal, maybe been way too on the easy side. Like, I like them being easy, but I don't like them being that easy personally.
Yeah. And then Magmarax, it's what? Like, there was too many, I'm trying to think of like we needed more Skarns. Sorry, Mythic players, you didn't. But like, maybe not Skarn. Like a boss that you actually had to proc. Like, remember Diurna?
Diurna, yeah.
Yeah, for like our first time in Heroic.
Diurna was the Notharian equivalent, like, yeah.
Was she?
Yeah, it was the boss before.
Well, she was the...
You're thinking like Kurog.
Yeah, that raid is so short. Yeah, like a Kurog. It felt like there was fewer prog bosses. That was basically what it was. A bunch of the bosses there were just not prog bosses. I remember, like, us... And sure, we had more gear relative to the start of the expansion, but, like, man, the first time we dabbled into Heroic, and we just, like, at the very end of our raid night, got, like, 2 or 3 boss kills.
Yeah, tuning was down, but also it was two factors, I think. It was tuning was easier and design was easier. Like, Shadowflame Amalgamation, and I will say, like, our guild is way better than we were last season. Like, overall, we are definitely way like easier to... We learn things quicker, we make less mistakes and stuff because of, like, practice and whatnot, but, like, Shadowflame Amalgamation basically isn't a boss.
No.
Khazra isn't really a boss.
No.
And that's okay for the first ones, but then you get to, like, Magmarax clearly was supposed to be way harder. But they had to cut, like, all of his mechanics. That's the only thing that makes sense for that.
It's so tragic.
Like, the 3 Drakthir, the Forgotten Experiments, they're, like, again, kind of nothing. They're really very simple. And the only one that challenged us, you could just, like, I put it this way. We were kind of struggling a little bit with the Forgotten Experiments for couple pulls whenever it was... Whenever I can't remember what it's called, the cast went on.
The essence thing?
Yeah, the cast was like, you have to juggle so much of these, and every single one is a new one that's permanently juggling.
You're juggling the debuff.
Yeah.
And the debuff drops like a pool. The higher the debuff ticks up to, the more damage it does to people. Yeah. So it doesn't
it doesn't drop a pool, it drops an ad.
It
drops an ad and does heavy damage, but like, we literally just went, well, we don't need damage any other part of this fight. So we'll just hold all of everything we have for this dude's spawn and blast him to hell. And then that was like, okay, we've just done that easy. Rashok as well is like...
We only had 2 of those to manage.
Yeah,
and this was like, as soon as we decided to do that strategy, we only were dealing with 2 of those, which made it simple. Now, the first time, like, our damage was close enough that he was about to, like, he was either about to or was casting the 3rd whenever we phased. But, I mean, yes, fundamentally easy. Yeah,
then, like, Rashok as an example Rashok is, again, a very, design-wise, very simple. There's almost no way to make a mistake in that fight. Outside of getting hit by random stuff because you like weren't super fast or got greedy. But if you weren't greeting, you're fine in that fight. And it was a DPS check, but it wasn't a very hard one. Then, like, Zakali, the Assault of Zakali is not a hard fight either. It's really like, I'm talking about raid organizationally, and I think that's fine. But the one comparison I'll make is I've been saying this a lot about how Aberrus has felt like the closest to, or the most inspired by FF14's raid design in a couple different areas, especially things like Shadow Flame Amalgamation being a stack and then a meteor.
Oh, yeah.
Or a stack in proximity. You go, okay with that. That's cool. That's sweet, whatever. But there's a few things that just really, like, they pulled way back on the raid organization. Like, there was basically, as an example, say, Dathea. Dathea was a really fun fight.
She was.
And it required pretty tight movements and, like, holding damage for certain stuff. And Zakali felt like it kind of could have, should have been something like that. But then you just kind of chilled and just killed some ads. And it's like, there's nothing complicated for you to deal with when you're a raid group. There's no complex, like, or like things to, like, assign to people. And obviously they wanted to pull back on the individual assignments because, you know, oh, well, it happened to you, oh, you're dead now. They pulled back on that, but they didn't add, like, stuff that can kill you for not paying attention. Like, personally, which is the thing of, maybe they just need to make the raid way more, give it way more stuff that wrecks you if you don't pay attention.
That's where things are tricky. I think what they've maybe realized that one person killing the whole raid, that form of difficulty just creates a experience of frustration.
Yeah, it's
for
horrible.
Everyone else.
It's horrible. You're only allowed that on Mythic. Like,
yeah. You know what? It's just tuning. I think it's just tuning.
I do think I think there are design elements that clearly need to work. But
I think that I prefer tighter tuning on a more simple design.
It's
because then you're kind of making that design matter more. And for a player, they're like, oh, I'm
actually going to disagree, but I'll explain why.
Interesting.
It's because whenever things are tuned tighter on damage, it always boils down to a healer problem. Where I think the problem is it was very easy to play these fights and not make any mistakes because they were very simple design-wise. And on top of that, mistakes didn't matter because they weren't tuned strong enough to kill you. So I think they need to be a little bit more willing to just kill people for making mistakes. Now, where you can do that in FF, you can't do it quite as well in WoW because attrition happens.
Yeah.
Because of limited combat reses. But I still feel like they need a little bit of that just in, because otherwise you just kind of fall asleep and do the raid. Like, everyone I've seen talk about this is basically, yeah, this was too easy. And I'm sure that's worked for a lot of people. And maybe it's worked for the numbers, and maybe they'll be happy to go forward with it. But I feel like if I were to have a personal desire, because I don't know how it's went for the overall populace, if I had a personal desire, it would be, kill me more, please. Kill me more. Oh. Kill me and my mates more, thank you.
Oh. I'm one of those.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill me.
Yeah, just put a little bit more, and I don't mean drop swirlies on me, but give me more.
The monkey's paws curls.
Like, throw more half the Serena's about to explode. Give me more stuff like that. More like the floor's about to fall out from underneath you.
I want, like, the floor's about to explode. There's like fucking 85 Japanese fellas going, oh.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're all like, ah. And it's all madness. Like, that spectacle. Or even thinking about Black Rock Foundry Man.
Yes, which one?
I don't know. It's not a Kojima
Black
character.
Hand?
Black Hands, that's it. You know, like the fucking floor explodes, you fall through the thing. I mean, there's some that was like, you know, cool in Starcraft, but I guess like
Trains.
More trains. Yeah. What would it be?
Like, I'm thinking specifically.
Like, I had fun in the raid. We all had fun in the raid. Like, to be clear, it's just weird because, like, right now we've all just stopped because we're like, all right, that's it, done for the tier. Happy.
Well, that's okay. Like, that's fine.
Which, yeah, is grand. I suppose will be interesting. We go to our next topic about. Well, we have our next topic about Zaralek. And then our topic after that, which is, of course, obviously Blizzard cut all of the checks they were sending to Taliesin and Evital, and now they've been activated.
Indeed.
True fact.
Indeed. But yeah, I think fundamentally it's just there need to be more big things that can kill people, because I think the design that I've really loved is, now I think obviously I did them late as well, but the recent like raids in FF have been like complete, like by design they're cakewalks, like the normal difficulty ones. By design they're cakewalks, but you can die. But you die in cool ways. Because the stuff like half of this floor is lava. don't be on the half floor lava. Or here's like a 1, 2, 3. And you go, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, literally moving to dodge the 1, to dodge the 2, to dodge the 3 is fun. And that's where like the breath on Forgotten Amalgamations is pretty good. Where it's just, the breathe in the middle, then, target where players are, go side or middle again, stuff like that. Stuff like that's kind of fun. But I think more things like Remorne's Massacre. More little things that go. Now, obviously, again, that's basically a swirly, but it's not a random swirly. It's like here's an actual mechanic that's happening instead of just we needed to stop you from casting to mitigate your DPS. So we're going to spew random stuff on you all the time. And I think that's what kind of works a little bit. Like Halone in the Euphrosyne is a fantastic boss fight.
In the what?
In the Alliance Raid, the second Alliance Raid wing in FF, is just here's some mad shit happening, and it's probably going to kill you if you don't pay attention.
That first Alliance Raid, like whenever I was playing that for the first time, I was just like, what the fuck is this level of scale? What?
Yeah, they need a little bit more of just, I think, the design element of here's some crazy stuff happening that's wrecking you, just bam, 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 bam. Here's like, not literally, it's really hard and really frustrating, but here's some stuff that's happened that you should avoid. As opposed to, they almost took like a little bit too much of a workman-like approach to this raid in some ways. Obviously, some stuff's really cool, like Notharian. Obviously, like the visuals of Sarkareth is really goddamn cool.
Big win.
But there's like the rest of it clearly was like, I don't want to say phoned in because that implies a lack of effort, but I mean like maybe budgeted too little on the implementation stage. Because like Kazara was basically a perfect first boss. Shadowflame Amalgamation is basically a perfect second boss.
I think like,
but the next few are a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. These you clearly like the middle was clearly a little bit less interesting and engaging. So Skarn's actually good. I think Skarn's actually a good fight. I like him. A great one outside of being slightly overtuned and some parts been a bit annoying, but like it's good overall.
Like starting bosses, it's like Rathian and Khazra are like really. I think they're just good examples of like dragon starting boss done two ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parallels. That's cool.
Whoa. Yeah, it's a shame. God, I wonder. Because like the standard modern game developer thing is like introducing raid affixes.
Yeah, that's
like, we don't want to do that. Introducing raiding plus, which is basically how we did our normal read clears while we while we just got loot that miraculously no one in the team could use. Yes, funny little situation.